Excellent. Excellent. Thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of Transformational Tuesday. This is where we're going to be bringing you the transformation of people on their property and, let's face it, life journey of excelling. So this week, oh my goodness, we have the awesome Warren Reid. You sound like a boxer and you look like one too. I felt like a boxer MC. I felt like a boxer MC calling onto the stage right then.
I've never been called that before. I don't know if I look like one.
Yeah,
I'll be getting stronger though.
Yeah, from here, definitely. So thank you so much for coming on here. I know that so many people are going to be super excited to hear the ins and outs of your transformation, because let's face it, ultimately, that is what has happened for you. So just give us a bit of a background about yourself, just so people know who you are, where you come from, and kind of your way of thinking for, let's say, most of your life.
Yeah, sure. My name's Warren Reid. I'm from Derby. I've lived here, born and bred all my life. So 37, I worked for Rolls-Royce for 11 years, and then recently was made redundant. And then I've come into property as an investor full time.
Awesome. So what was it like growing up, in the Reid household, and like what were you into? What were your thoughts? What were you taught to do? Going through school, getting a job, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved football growing up, so that was my passion. And but yeah, alongside that.
So you must be a Liverpool fan if you love football.
No,
what?
We're not Liverpool fans.
What do you mean not we? You brainwash your family too?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, man. Yeah, my kids love football, so we're Derby. We're Derby fans. We're Arsenal fans. We're Barca fans.
Oh, so whoever's winning, so this season you're Liverpool fan then?
Yeah, everyone but them.
Oh, come on.
I'm only joking. Yeah, so I grew up, that was my passion. I loved playing football from a young child. I played right the way up to just 5 years ago. And then after that, I became a professional scout for Derby County's academy.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I hung up my boots a long time ago.
But you became a scout, like you were scouting, talent.
Yeah.
Great, that's awesome. I like that. That's super interesting.
It was my way to give back after 23 years. So I loved it, every minute of it. I wish I could go back and do it again.
Good. But now, rather than scouting out young talent in football, you're scouting out in property. You're looking for deals. You're looking for investors. That's what you're scouting out. You're looking for that type of talent. But what was the situation? How did you get into property? Let's start at the beginning. What was going through your mind, and how did it all come about?
Well, I kind of became an accidental landlord only because we moved out of our residence where we was living before into a different catchment area, just specifically for school reasons for my children. We wanted them to go to a better school, like a lot of other people. And then, so we then rented out the home that we owned, and we rented somewhere else. During that time, we experienced all the highs and lows of a landlord, especially being untrained, and inexperienced. So we had void periods, damage to the property, refurb costs, more damage to the property, more voids. It was just a pain. So then we kind of decided to start looking at different kinds of property training.
So what, it was you just why training? What made you think I need to be trained?
I've seen different kinds of things in advertisements and stuff, but I believe I didn't think I knew any of that. And when I went to some of the courses and some of the training that I had, I was mind blown by the strategies that I was exposed to and that I'd learned. I'd never knew any of these things that were possible, like rent to rent, for example, or lease option agreements, or buy, refurbish, refinance, and all this kind of stuff, no money down deals. So, and you kind of get snippets and you start to hear different things as you start to lean in a certain direction. So then I thought, you know what, let me kind of just book myself onto sort of one of these courses or something. And then from there, that's when I learned different things. And then it took me a time to choose which strategy was best for me at the time and my circumstances. But once I knew exactly what to do, I kind of zoned in and kind of learned more, kind of came at the game from that angle.
So when was that? When was the decision that you made, hey, like, I got to get some training, I've seen some insights, you know, some advertising, you know, on wherever you've seen that?
1 year ago, exactly 1 year ago.
Literally, what, 1 year ago? 1 year ago, you that's when you said, okay, buy to let, which I accidentally kind of fell into, caused me too much issue. I need to find something. Literally 1 year ago.
Yes.
So where are we now? So we're like 2020 September. So September 2019.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, good. So then what? You had some education. What happened then?
So I came out mind blown. I was like, oh my God. Kind of realised that I've been doing things wrong for a very long time. I read books. I just became a student, and I read, watched videos, bought books, downloaded books, webinars, or every type of thing that was possibly going I was signing up to. Then I realised that rent to rent was the strategy for me. And then I started to take the steps and the actions necessary for me to build a rent-to-rent business. And then what I realized was it's difficult to do it all alone. You need support. You need help. You need support with mindset.
So what happened? Like what did you go through? What were you experiencing? Well, okay, I'm nailing down rent to rent. This is what I'm going to do. This is a strategy I'm going to start with. What did you go through? What were your experience to make you realize? I mean, you didn't just start out saying I needed support, or you would have, you know, you already have it, right? But like, what did you experience to make you think, wow, you know, doing this alone is difficult?
Yeah, it's lonely. Definitely, it's a lonely job. You need answers. You need somebody to bounce off, share ideas with. Help grow yourself as well. Learn different ideas, learn different things. You need somebody to keep you accountable as well. So that's when I came across you guys.
Yeah, but what happened to get there?
To get there?
Like, what did you have some challenges? Was what difficulties, or was everything just?
No, I think it was a case of it being lonely. Your mindset has changed massively from where you was several months ago, and it's difficult to talk to people who don't have that mindset. So the experiences I was facing was it was lonely. There wasn't really many people to speak to other than on the web. There was nobody physically there that you could talk to, have real conversations. Finding those people was difficult, and finding the extra support to go and take that step from the corporate world to the investors world on your own is a big jump and can be daunting. So those were the experiences that I found in the early stages before found.
Good. So when that was going on, like, you know, what kind of results were you getting, or what was your activities, or what was happening?
Yeah, so I was driving all over the Midlands to try and find deals and speak to agents, speak to landlords. I was driving like a madman.
While in a job, yeah? While in a full-time job?
Whilst in a job, yeah, I was finding any way possible to find time to make it work. So, yeah, I was driving everywhere. I was speaking to everybody. I wasn't getting any results, though, but I felt like I was getting closer. I suppose looking back, what I was doing was gaining experience and maybe learning as I was going along and improving bit by bit until I finally got my first deal.
Yeah, so how was that, during that experience before you got your first deal, how was that affecting like either your work or your family or your relationship? Was it positive?
With the family, they were very supportive because I'd explained everything what I wanted to do with my wife, and she was supportive and she jumped on board. Work, yeah, I had to find creative ways to get around that. But I was focused more so on being a property investor than I was being an engineer.
Okay, good. So then so you just talked about getting your first deal. So how did that come about?
Yeah, so my first deal, so before I joined the tribe, I still hadn't got my first deal. As I was saying, I was experiencing all these things where it was lonely, running around like a madman and getting no results. And then it wasn't until I joined the tribe that you start to develop a bigger, better mindset. And then I found people within the tribe that were more supportive, who also had experience of rent to rent. And then I found my first deal that came about through an agent who actually pulled out at the last second. Funny enough, it was the day before I even joined we did the event in February. So on the Friday, we had a call from an agent. I'd been to a viewing. Everything was done. We looked solid. Landlord was give us the thumbs up, and the agent gave us a thumbs up. Come on, we went to the event. Everything's amazing. We had a great time at the event. We're coming out of it thinking we've got our first deal as well. Can't wait to announce this to everyone. And bam, on the Monday, the agent pulled out and kind of got cold feet. So what we decided to do was write the landlord a letter direct, because we knew he'd already said yes. He called us up the following day and just said, yep, he wanted to continue. And then the rest was history.
Good. I mean, obviously that training you went was a 2-day live event training, real life property wealth. And some amazing things happen there for people. Yeah. I'm just wondering, if you didn't go to that event and on that same Monday that, you got that letter, what might have been, your action, or what would you have done?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because we came out of the event pumped, full of confidence and energy. So when we had that setback, it was like, no problem, we'll just write in a letter, bang, and it was done. And then it just worked like magic, you know? And then the next day, we wasn't even surprised when he called. It was just, we felt very different, and the confidence was we had huge confidence coming out of the event. So I don't know what I would have done in answer to your question.
Good.
What I would have done differently.
So before we move on to what everybody's super interested about, like, okay, so how did you start to make things happen, and what are the results that you have to show today? Like, what was the difference, or what's your advice to people if they're looking to? Because like you, many people are they're watching things all over YouTube. I mean, real life group, YouTube channel, video after video after video, right? Lots of free stuff available that we offer. So you're watching all of this stuff, you're reading, you're a student, all the rest of it. You even, paying for, programs or training or courses or whatever it might be, workshops. And what's the difference, even though you're acquiring all that knowledge, what's the difference between getting results and not getting results? Because you obviously experience both.
You need to take actions with that knowledge that you've gained. That's for one, definitely. But you also need to keep yourself accountable, which can be difficult. So if you don't have anyone around to help you with that, you could struggle. So I would definitely recommend that. And support. Those are the 3 things I would say. If you can get support behind you with people on a similar mindset, on a similar mission, who want to achieve similar goals, that's a great start with those 3 things, I would say, in my opinion.
See, I told you you're a boxer. Yeah, okay, good. So what, any other challenges up until the point where you got that first deal that people can maybe expect if you don't have the support, you're not around the right people? But also, we were talking earlier, you were talking about, information. A lot of information, and it's great because it gives you a total different way of thinking about life and strategies. And you said you got some great inspiration from, the likes of Grant Cardone and other people online, which, I think that guy is great, awesome inspiration and doing great things in the world. So, what is the difference between information and, real training, or the training, or what's getting you results? What got you the results?
The information that you're gaining, you need the experience, you need the life experience to go through to really understand, because that's the best teacher. And that's when you find that once you're out there talking to people, picking up the phone, speaking to landlords, speaking to agents, that experience there, like you say, is the best teacher, because that's what helps improve you. And I did say that right at the beginning when I was getting no results whatsoever. But looking back over time, as I kept on doing it, I started to get better and better and better and speak to landlords and agents in a way that, I could influence, or, I could talk to them on a different level, and in a way where they could understand what you want, and I understood exactly what they want.
Okay, good. So yeah, actually, rather than just information, it became actionable, principles that you started to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Principles, that's a good point.
Okay, good. And you know what's cool about, because a lot of people say experience is the best teacher, and from my experience, experience is the only teacher. Yeah, and that's because it's, it might look like magic sometimes to many people, listening to you now and heard many other, transformational stories, but there's no mistake of why people are not getting results, banging their head against the wall, and then they come into the environment of the real life methods, the real life tribe, the culture, the community, and then as if by magic people start getting results. I mean, it might look like magic, but it's not. but it's not magic. It's because information is insight. It's not the teaching. The teaching.
Yeah.
The only teacher is experience. It's the only teacher. So you could say it's the best teacher because the reason it's the best teacher is because it's the only teacher. So there's nothing to compare to. There's no other teaching. You can only learn from the experience of doing something. Yeah, and that's why it's so amazing to have seen you, because I remember when you were at the event, you were very, wanting to push your boundaries and open up, and I could sense some kind of reservation, and you could sense some kind of bubble was going to pop, or something inside you was going to pop. Do you remember?
Yeah, you gave me a hard time.
Yeah. I seen potential in you. I seen, that you're capable. I seen that you want to do it. And that's why then the opportunity presents itself for you to get that kind of coaching, you get that kind of training, and have that experience, which is the only teacher. Yeah. So what's then happened, Warren? What's happened since then? What's your journey been like, and what's it? Because you were talking about the highs and lows of refurb and as your buy-to-let of damage and voids and all of that, and you experienced all of that. But now, what's been your experience since going to Real Life Property Wealth, being part of Tribe, having a coach, and utilizing all the resources that are available to you, which is just crazy to try and name now. But what now has been your experience on your property journey and the deals that you're doing and things like that?
Oh wow, things have sped up just a bit. We've kind of business has gone through the roof. We have throughout lockdown alone, we now have 4 HMOs. One of those that we manage. We still have the one single let as well. That's obviously tenanted as well there, so that's secure. We have formed a JV partnership that we found in the tribe. Fantastic JV partners who also have some similar goals to us, and they're really supportive. Can't thank those guys enough. So together with them, we've purchased, or it's a purchase going through now, a 3-bed, which we are converting into a 6-bed, all-en-suite HMO here in Derby. We've formed another JV partnership to help fund our rent-to-rents going forward. So we believe we'll continue to grow even faster than we have throughout lockdown. And then we also have some ideas for a website coming in Derby for bookings of HMO and bookings of rooms and stuff. So we're trying to channel our own traffic now and come away a little bit from spare room and those guys. So we're trying to channel our own stuff that we've started together and build up momentum over times.
Awesome.
So there's all
business after business. So you got you say 4 HMOs. These are your rent-to-rent strategy, are they?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's right.
So in 8 months. So in 8 months of actually being, because you said January, right, or December, January, you became part of the tribe. Then you came to an event in February. And then you started coaching in May.
Yes.
Yeah. So and now it's just start of September. So let's say in 8 months, 6 of which have been in lockdown. Yeah. So fantastic. I've got 4 rent-to-rents. Yeah, and then what else you got going on apart from this of a business idea of which sounds really awesome?
Well, so you've got so there's the 4 rent-to-rents, there's the 1 single let, there's 1 purchase going through right now. We are so that will be extended. So we'll pretty much knock down every single wall inside, apart from the ones on the outside, and convert that 3 double rooms ensuite. Downstairs, 3 double rooms ensuite. Upstairs, there'll be an extension for the communal area as well. That's all done with our fantastic JV partners that we met in the tribe.
So you're starting to take on projects, bigger conversions, and are you guys doing this with your money?
No, none of that's done with any of our own money.
No, none of your own money, right?
I should have mentioned that. Yeah,
no, that's good. That's good. No, you don't need to apologize. I mean, people are just looking for some inspiration. Yeah. So you've been an amazing inspiration so far. Just telling everybody your journey and what's been going through or what you've been going through. Yeah. So let's just summarize this, and then you can give us, any other advice of what other people might be thinking, or what you want to advise them, what you have learned in your journey. Because let's face it, right now you've gone from running all over the country, struggling with 1 rental property, making it work. You're now out of your job. Yeah. You're out of your job. The universe knows what to provide for you, so you're out of your job, which allows you to focus now full time. You got 4 cash flowing properties, and now you got 1 purchase going through, new JV partnership, and a whole new business idea, which not just going to benefit you. It's obviously, if it sounds to me like what it is that you're saying, this is a whole big thing. This is a whole big thing.
We'll announce that to you guys soon, especially tribe members as well. I know this will be. It will add massive value as well for all landlords and anyone who's got HMOs, especially in Derby.
Good, excellent. So what other kind of insights or nuggets do you want to share with the people? Like think what would your advice be to people that are either working but they're looking for something more, and they might be searching on the internet, they might have come across this video right now. What's your advice to these people, the people who are searching for more in life?
Yeah, for those that sound like who I was, searching for more. And anyone who was like I was, who was looking out there for something or wasn't too sure, wanted more in life, get yourself down to real life training. It's quite that simple. Because I think you guys put it all into one, because it's not just about property education and learning the different strategies. And I knew that from last year. You can have all the strategies, but you won't really get the results unless you have several things alongside that, such as mindset, support, and all the rest of the things that we've had. I think the guys at Real Life provide all of that. So that's why I came, that's why I'll be staying.
Awesome. Good to hear. So just give us some insights. So like, what are the pros and cons, of all the different stages of your journey? Like what is it that people are going to look out for? Because let's face it, information is everywhere. It's everywhere, and I think so much so that it can possibly start to confuse people.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, because there's lots of different property training out there. And like I said, there's information. I can only recommend and give any kind of advice to anyone based on what I'm doing now. I can't really talk about anyone else's experience, but I could certainly say that for me, real life, I would come here. That's what I would do. That's what I would recommend, is to come to the training, because they provide all of the resources there to help you succeed in property, in my opinion anyway. That's how it's been for me. So,
good. Yeah, well, thank you for being so honest and putting it out there. This is the type of style we like, just real life, in your face, real advice, no, fluff, no blue sky thing. Because at the end of the day, the information is fantastic when everything is going exactly the way it's supposed to go. But as you've done from your experience, I definitely know from my experience, things never go, just according to plan exactly the way it is. So you need to know what to do when things are not going to plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not going to plan. And in fact, for those people that want to hear more of these stories, because we're about to just do a video on something that happened on one of our new builds that actually now, for some reason, planning that was approved and gone through is now not gone through, and we're going to apply for it retrospectively with all these different conditions and all the rest of it. Yeah, so it could be panic mode because we already built the house. It's nearly finished. So you can subscribe to the Real Life Group YouTube channel, turn on notifications so you can get stories and access to information like this and other people like Warren. But before we go here, Warren, I want you to get, let's just say, right now, all the people that are out there that are either struggling, they want more in life, they want to do something different, they kind of know that there is something out there different, but they just need some belief, they need some inspiration, they just need someone to give them that little bit of a push right now. And you got the opportunity to speak to all of these people. That's the scenario. Yeah? What is it you're going to say?
So you can do anything you want, and don't let anyone kind of tell you any different. But I know that sounds kind of a bit cliche, but there's a lot of stuff keeping us down at the minute, keeping our mindset low, thinking that we can achieve only just what we're being told and go to school and get a job and all that kind of thing. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to do none of that. I know, I'm 37 now. I worked in the corporate world for over 20 years, so I know. And now, with what I know now and the experience that I've had, I look back and I think that I've done things wrong for 20 years. I could have been so further ahead if I knew what I know now back then. So you absolutely can. And there's people out there like Mark, Tricia and the Real Life Tribe who are always there to help and support people who were in the shoes that I was, where you wanted to try something a little bit different. You don't know who to speak to. There's not many people out there with that strong mindset, so it's difficult to find them. But once you find them, keep them on your side and you surround yourself with those people. So that's why I came to Real Life. So anyone who out there who's thinking of doing something special, amazing, you've got an idea, there's people out there to support you.
Awesome. And Warren, if it's just one person who you touched right there then with that inspirational from the heart there speech, if you can call it that, and they go on to do something different in their life to then help and inspire and transform other people's lives, that's enough for me. If it just one, hopefully more, but if just one, we just help one person just change the trajectory of where they were going to now they're going to go somewhere different, to a higher place, a higher standard of living. That's what it's all about. So thank you so much for being here and joining us. You've been inspirational in such a short journey all the way through lockdown.